Good afternoon, everyone. You are most welcome once again to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to look at the common errors in Excel. Okay, we know as we navigate through Excel, we are prone to making errors as we make entries in the Excel. So, what are those common errors that we are likely to encounter? So, the first thing is you get you open your Excel. Okay, you open your Excel, which contains the data you want to process. So if I have this data here and I want to process it, say maybe I want to get the average scores for these pupils, or I want to get the total score and then the average score for these pupils. Sometimes if you make wrong entries, or maybe you end up wrong formulas, wrong names, or maybe any other thing that the Excel does not recognize, then you get error. So for instance here, let's take one pupil here, John. If we want to get the total score for John, if we enter a wrong formula or a formula which Excel does not recognize, then automatically we shall get error. So for instance, instead of putting the right formula, if we put say equal sign, then we said sum, then we press enter, you get an error. Okay, because this formula is not recognized by Excel when you want to get the total score. So this is one of the error. House name is one of the errors that occur in Excel. So the best thing to do is you insert a proper error. To insert a proper formula if we want to avoid such error. So if I want to get the total score for this pupil, I will simply say equal sign sum. What am I summing? I open I open a bracket. I'm summing cell. I'm summing B1. B3 up to E3. So I will say B3 to B3 to E3. Then I close the bracket and then I press enter. That is it. You can see now here my formula, my total score for these people has been brought. So I don't need to insert different formulas for each of these pupils. What I will do is I will simply place my cursor there, then I will drag it down for every pupil, and the total score for every pupil will simply sum up here. So you can see. So these are the total scores for these pupils. So one error we encountered here was when my Excel does not recognize the formula you have put in. So you get what? You get hash name error. That is one of the errors. The second error that we are likely to encounter is if we are dividing a digit by 0, then it gives you an error. For instance here, if I want to get the average scores for these pupils, and I happen to maybe say the average is say maybe 294 divided by, okay, divided this by 0, and then you see it brings for me an error because this formula is also not recognized by Excel. So you can say hash div or hash division. No, this is already an error which is not which actually this computer does not actually, is actually telling you that your formula was a wrong formula, so it was not recognized. So if I want to get the right formula, average for this pupil, I will simply say equal sign average, equal sign average, okay, or I can, yes, average, or I can simply say equal sign 297 divided this by what? divided by 4. And this one here will give for me what? It will give for me the average score for this pupil here. So this is how you can end some of the errors. There are so many errors that can come when you make entries in Excel. So briefly, that is what I can talk about for now. If you practice, you will be able to encounter so many types of errors that Excel will remind you about. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned, or always check in for new videos that will come your way.